So, Sony 70-200 f4. Okay, let's start with a simple description. Here you have buttons, auto, manual focus, focus limiter. If you only just want to shoot something far away, you can just limit it here to just, speed things up. Optical steady shot, on, off, and modes. These modes refer to the stabilization. One is for like when you're just shooting something far away, and two is when you track your subject with the lens. Alright, this is what it looks like. It weighs about 850, just a second. I'm just gonna bring the weight. Okay. I'm weighing it with the stand. So it's 972 a kilogram with the thingy, and without it 939 and 866 without sun cover. This actually is quite nice built. As you can see, you have this soft material inside, so you cannot really damage the lens when you're using it. When you put this on, you have these little dots here. It's probably standard, but yeah. Dots and things, and just just fix it like that. Okay. Let's bring in the meter. Okay, so the lens itself is 19 centimeters with all of the things, right? And with the sun cover. And with the sun cover, it's about 25 and a half, 25 centimeters. It takes 72 filters, and it's we're gonna get to the photos soon. It's I'm really glad with the image quality I get from it. It's sharp. I really don't know about the corner sharpness because it's not really a landscape lens, so if you do occasional landscape with it, you're gonna be happy with it as well. It's a little soft at 200, but other than that, it's really sharp. So quality-wise and everything, quality build, it's a great lens. But my problem with it is really that it's really heavy, and it's white and very conspicuous. So if you're using your camera, like for an example, if you're walking around a city or anything like that, and you go to shifty neighborhoods, probably it's not really the lens you would use there. Also, if you travel to Switzerland or Austria or Iceland, great. But when you go to countries that are a little bit, the crime rates are higher, and you want to walk around with this at night, or anyway, it's really not the perfect lens for that. Also, I understand that it's full frame and the telephoto lenses have to be big, but they don't really have to be wide, Other than that, image quality wise, if you're only making photos of people that know you're making photos of them, or if you just using it for studio, for sports events and things like that, this is your lens. If you want to be more inconspicuous, probably buy the 70-300, the black one, a little bit shorter. It's thick, but a little bit shorter. I think that is just a little bit, 4 centimeters, I think. So go with that one. Oh, the one thing, it doesn't come out when you zoom it in. That's actually quite nice. So if you see 70-200, it doesn't come out. You can see moving inside. Okay, now let's go to the photos. So we are now in Lightroom. Here's the first photo. It's the, I don't know what's the name of the animal in English, but you see what it is. We are at ISO 800 at 200, as you can see. So the front of the face of this little thingy is sharp, but that's basically it. You can see some noise creeping in already at ISO 800. One more. So basically you have f4 here, and you only really have, for an example, this photo. I focused it, I tried to focus on the eye, but I missed a little bit, focused it on the forehead, and the eyes already start to be out of focus. So it's plenty of bokeh if you want to. It's a very short depth of field. I understand that, you know, the f2.8 or something like that are faster and you can focus it in better and stuff like that, but when it comes to the depth of field, the 4.0 is really, you know, it's really small enough for all the purposes. I think of people like me who don't really make money on photography but just make photos. I understand that Sony makes the best and the most expensive lenses right now because they want to bring some pros to their stable and, you know, to build a brand recognition. But, you know, if they made a good, nice 4.0 lens, because to be honest, yeah, it is a good lens, but it's also a good sensor, so probably any lens would work on it that way. Let me go to this again. As you can see, we operate here on small apertures. Again, 5.6. The beak is in focus, the eyes already aren't. Again, the sharpness, it's ISO 640. Here you really cannot see that much noise. 200 at f4.0. To be honest, I find it performing at its weakest at 200. Here you can see it, the man is quite soft. You know, you can see some of the diffractions on the shirt. Here's a photo of the f8. So all of those little furry guys are in focus, but nothing else is. Really, the fat guy already isn't. Here's a, you know, a landscape or a cityscape, or, you know, just a photo where the whole frame is filled with something. It's f6.3, but it was quite far away, so I managed to get all of that pretty much in focus. And as you can see, when I go to the side, it stays in focus. Then here in the corners, it is also quite fine. But here for an example, it isn't really. It's 7.1, so, you know, it may be the fact that, you know, my depth of field was too narrow, but really if you go here up, you can see that it still remains sharp. But when you go to the corners, it's at 200. When you go to the corners, it really starts to be a little bit messy. It's, you know, as you can see, there's a lot of diffractions and distortions and everything. So, yeah. To be honest, here again also, this might be just a little bit too close. You know, it's the closest thing on the photo. So, yeah, some more photos. Here's, you know, how close you can get. Really, you cannot get that close. And the thing is that you can get closer at 70. At 70, you can get to 1 meter, I think, and it's getting worse from there. So at 200, you can get like 85% of that. So 100, I don't know, like, you know, 1 meter and one and a half or something like that. So this is quite strange. Again on f4 200. Yeah, it's a little bit soft in there, but otherwise, as you saw in the previous photos, it was quite sharp. Still 200, I shoot a lot at 200, I see. And again, the softness is here. Here I was also using a crappy polarized filter. You know, I was using it when it was bright, and then I somehow could not take it off. So here is an example of shooting with this lens from a tripod. As you know, it has the tripod stand. So it was shot at f/18 at 2 seconds. And if we close, as you can see, the stones are pretty sharp. The details are here. It's not, you know, it's not super duper sharp, but it's, you know, sharp enough for all intents and purposes. Okay, that's it. These are the photos. Judge for yourself. For me, it's probably a good enough lens. It's expensive and it's really conspicuous. It's big, white, and if you pull it out, people notice. So for me personally, I'm probably going to go with the 70-300 or even with just a smaller sensor telephoto lens, because I mean, the way here, like when you go to the zoo or when you shoot animals, it's perfect for that. But if you want to go to the city, to some sketchy neighborhood, or you want to go to a country where people, you know, people would feed their families for like 6 months for your camera, probably not the lens to go there with. Okay, thank you and see you next time.